In Germany, Tim and Liv are living their married life together. Things seemed good at first. Liv even got pregnant, and they were both thrilled. But tragedy struck when she lost the baby, and ever since then, their relationship has drifted apart. For the past 2 years, Tim has buried himself in his work as a programmer for a video game company, leaving their marriage cold and distant. Recently, their building has been wrapped in a massive black tarp, while the landlord, Friedman, carries out renovations. One afternoon, Tim and Liv bump into him on the street, and he assures them that the work will be finished soon. Just then, helicopters roar overhead and smoke rises in the distance. News soon breaks that a massive fire has broken out at the harbor. Later, Liv tells Tim she picked up their van from the repair shop. Instead of being excited, Tim only sees painful memories tied to it. Liv then drops a bigger surprise. She quit her job and wants them to drive to France to start over, hoping the change could save their relationship. Tim immediately shoots the idea down, saying he wants to finish his work project first and maybe think about it later. His phone rings with another work call, cutting the conversation short and leaving Liv even more upset. That night, she cries in bed while Tim lies silently beside her. The next morning, a strange black cloud hovers above their apartment. Liv reaches her breaking point and tells Tim she's leaving on her own. But when she opens the front door, she's stunned to find a solid black wall blocking the way. No matter how much she pushes, it won't budge. Tim checks the doorbell camera, but the screen is dead. They rush to the windows, only to discover they're sealed shut with the same black material. Liv tries calling Friedman, but the phones are dead and the Wi-Fi is gone. Tim desperately shouts for help and throws himself at the wall, but nothing works. While searching for a signal, he notices his phone glitching whenever it gets close to the strange black surface. They try using a drill, but it can't even scratch the wall. When they test it on the regular walls of the apartment, they realize the black bricks are covering everything. Suddenly, noises come from the wall they share with their neighbors. Liv drills through and discovers Marvin and Anna on the other side, who are trapped as well. Just like Tim and Liv, their phones are useless, and they never noticed anything strange during the night. Anna breaks down, convinced they'll die there. Things get worse when Tim checks the sink and realizes the water is gone too. He tries to lighten the mood, comparing their situation to a video game where they just need to test different solutions. But Liv snaps. She reminds him this isn't a game and blames him for refusing to leave yesterday. After a heated argument, she storms off while Tim angrily hurls his phone at the wall. Minutes later, he notices a piece of the phone stuck to the bricks. When he pulls it away, the piece instantly snaps back. Liv brings him a mug to make peace, and Tim realizes the spoon is sticking to the wall as well. Excited, they test more objects and discover the bricks are magnetic. Some spots are stronger than others, so Liv piles metal objects against 4 particular areas. Suddenly, the objects begin vibrating and then shoot across the room. Tim pushes Liv out of the way, but in the process, sharp objects pierce his back. Liv tends to his wounds carefully, and the two share a quiet moment. Later, screams erupt from the neighbor's apartment. Tim and Liv enlarge the hole in the wall and crawl through, finding the place trashed and blood on the carpet. Anna is lying on the floor, but when they help her, Marvin suddenly attacks Tim and tries to choke him with a bat. Liv rushes back and sprays Marvin with pepper spray, giving Tim the chance to knock him down. He threatens Marvin to stop hurting Anna, but Anna suddenly defends him. She insists she hit him by accident while attacking the wall, and he lost control after taking too much medication. Still uneasy, Tim and Liv tie Marvin's hands until he calms down. While searching the apartment, Tim finds a locked no-entry door. He forces it open, but doesn't notice the black bricks glowing faintly at the window. Liv joins him, and together they find some digital cameras and an axe. But the axe can't break through the wall either. When Marvin wakes up, he doesn't remember much and apologizes. Liv then suggests that their old building must have a war shelter in the basement, possibly with a tunnel to the subway system. The only way out might be down. Tim breaks into the floor and discovers the black bricks don't extend beneath them. They use sheets as a rope and lower themselves into another apartment, where they meet Oswalt, an old man with an oxygen tank, and his granddaughter Lee. Oswalt is cautious and points a gun at them, but Lee convinces him to cooperate. As they begin digging further, Tim discovers a hidden camera inside a smoke detector. Oswalt claims Friedman had them installed, which means he's been spying on all the tenants. Remembering Friedman lives next door, the group breaks through the wall into his apartment and discovers his bizarre collection of artifacts and his corpse, missing both arms. Tim also finds Friedman's phone with photos of the black walls. They continue digging downward and eventually meet Yuri, who claims to be Anton's friend. He says Anton died of a heart attack caused by the wall's magnetic field interfering with his pacemaker. Lee grows suspicious after noticing piles of strange papers in the apartment. Yuri insists the walls were put up for their protection by the government and wants everyone to stay. Nobody agrees, and tensions rise. Eventually, they make it to the basement and find an old shelter door, but it's sealed shut and blocked by the black bricks. Marvin loses control, trying to smash through it, and even steals Oswalt's gun to shoot at the wall. The bullets hover in midair, caught in the magnetic field, and then bounce back violently. Everyone ducks, but Oswalt is too slow and is killed instantly. Devastated, Lee clings to her grandfather's body. Back upstairs, the group begins wondering why they've been trapped. Anna reveals she once had a near-death experience. Yuri admits to killing someone as a cop. Liv talks about losing her baby, and Marvin admits to killing Oswalt just now. Tim refuses to talk about the miscarriage, sparking a raw argument between him and Liv. She accuses him of abandoning her in her grief and burying himself in work. The fight ends with Liv storming away again. Searching for answers, they discover Anton's research notes. They suggest the black walls might be made of nanobots, controlled by a code. A hidden room in Friedman's apartment reveals surveillance equipment monitoring all the tenants, along with footage showing how the black wall suddenly formed overnight. They also discover Yuri killed Anton after he found a way to open the wall. Yuri eventually attacks the group, killing Lee in the process. A brutal fight breaks out, but they subdue him and tie him up. Among Anton's notes, Tim realizes the bricks are arranged like a code that can be unlocked. They discover Anton had built an app that scans the wall, identifying 4 key spots that need to be pressed in sequence. They test it, and the wall briefly turns liquid. But when Anna reaches into it, the nanobots trap her and kill her, confirming that Friedman died the same way. Furious and heartbroken, Marvin kills Yuri before taking his own life. With nearly everyone gone, Tim and Liv are left to face the wall again. They reconcile at last, opening up about their pain and finally forgiving each other. Tim reworks the app and realizes the order of the code matters. As they prepare to test it again, Yuri, who survived, attacks one last time. A vicious struggle follows, but Liv kills him with the mace. The couple finally escapes through the wall and make it outside, only to discover the entire town is covered in the same black bricks. Their van, however, is untouched. They drive away together while the radio confirms the disaster began with the harbor fire. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos like this. Thanks for watching.